Think that's it? Think we're live? A little early. That's because I got an off-topic thing here to do. Hoping Justin's still in the chat, and I think he is because a message just came up. You asked or hinted at that question almost 3 years ago. You're on an absurd journey. I know exactly what you're talking about, too. So, I think I just realized something, Justin. Are you not Adventure Manager in the Discord? Username Adventure Manager, not a role. He is alive. Woo! Is that a worm? They don't look too happy. But those are worms. Those are bookworms. There's Sabbath. There's people rolling in. Because, Justin, if you are not Adventure Manager in the Discord, you are? Okay. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, maybe his name was Dustin on YouTube, not Justin. Okay. Well, never mind then, because I was going to say, like, probably some of the comments I've made in the past did not make sense, or maybe even seemed a little off color. So. But it has been you this whole time, so we're good. Okay. Yeah. I think you're talking about that that video that was like something between video games, VTTs, and TTRPGs, like something in the middle. Was it that video or something else where I talked about something that was just pieces and you build your own system? That's kind of how Nuts is, but they're very contained pieces. It's like it's all its own pieces, but you get to put them together how you want instead of general TTRPG pieces. But anyway, we are here. It is time for the Moss and Stone. You can let me know how audio levels are. The music might get a little louder or quieter. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. But I figured I would stream, do a little catch up. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Got some new people too, because I took off for Moss and Stone. I took off all of December because we had all that Christmas going on, all those games, which was super duper fun. One of them was Moss and Stone. Crig, I can't remember. There was, during that Christmas month, December, there was a little speck where YouTube, I thought it was on my end, but YouTube was actually having some troubles, and there's a couple streams we did. There's just a huge chunk of them missing at the end because there was a hiccup, there was a bottleneck between users and YouTube. So when I was uploading the stream, it was getting stuck, and then people were lagging like 20 minutes behind. So, and then that ended up getting sliced right off at the end of the stream when I disconnected. So it was weird, but they got it straightened out. So I don't know if the Moss and Stone, I don't think it was one that got boogered up. Going to credit you with the question. Woo! I got a link to the video. Yeah. Always passing. Yeah. So anyway, I took off Moss and Stone because I wanted to. That's not often I get to do anything with Crig. So I was like, well, he's got the whole month. Yeah, he had the whole month. So we loaded it up with games. We played several. Do you have docs available somewhere for Moss and Stone or Nuts? Was always curious seeing your videos, but never saw. Yeah, so you're in the Discord. There is a super old Nuts thread in the Acorn sharing. You can get it there. I need to start, it's just in Google Drive. I need to start pretty much putting it in all my video descriptions to say, hey, I made this, you go play it. It's free. I try to keep the most up to date. Now it is not a finished, polished thing. Like there might be some wording in there that references something old that has since been changed, but if you see something, just holler and I'll update it. But it's functional. Like we have been playing it. When I say it's not finished and polished, it's got little stick figure art in it, right? And it's just I made it in PowerPoint. That is not the end product, but mechanically it functions as intended. So anyway, yeah, December we played a bunch of Crig games. That was a lot of fun. Land of Eam, Dolmen Wood, Cosmosaurs, which I think I'm going to do a review for in a few weeks. Moss and Stone, some Nuts. Yeah, man, it was a good time. So Monster Stone took a little bit of a break, and I hadn't been doing streams anyway because it was just kind of the playtesting phase anyway, and I'd done what I considered the interesting, fun parts. Man, this music is loud on my end. I did what I thought was the fun parts on stream, so. Don't tell anyone you're here. All right, it's our secret skill. We won't tell Dave. Cosmo Swords is such a good. It's fun. It's probably going to be an easy review because it's not much to that game. You have 2 stats. That's it. So, but it's fun. It was a lot of fun. It had a good vibe, as the kids say. The cool kids say. Yeah. So the Moss and Stone game we played, or I played. I guess it was just me and Craig. I played with Craig. He had a whole party of characters. I think he had 3 or 4 that he made. Dave is 2 desks over. Oh no. Yeah, Grimwood Dave. Yeah. Grimwood Games Dave. Simplicity is the highest challenge. It is. Taking complex and making it simple. Yep, that is the hard part. But anyway, I did make one little tweak when me and Craig played it, and I think it worked out for the better. It was the initiative system. You still have your predator roll, which determines your predator abilities and use of karma and all that. That still works the same. But instead of it also determining whether or not your players go first, I just went back to easy D6 basic, and players always go first. And it just flowed better, I felt like. Was one less thing to keep up with, and felt better too. So right now, from what I've seen, I also lowered the predator rating on the enemies a little bit. But from what I've seen, it seems to work pretty good in the sense, when you win the predator roll, the idea is to just bulldoze through the enemies as fast as you can while you're the predator, because you get all your karma usage, you have extra abilities you can use, so you have the potential to do a lot more. And then when you lose the predator roll, you're hanging back. Like, you don't have those predator abilities, you can't use karma. And I want to try something to where you can stockpile more karma without making it too confusing. I gotta find a happy middle ground there, but the idea is, all right, I'm the predator, expend all the resources, go ham. I am the prey. Let me hang back, be defensive, stockpile karma. Do I need to read all this if I'm fill in? No, it's pretty easy. I'm still waiting to hear back from the person I reached out to. I think you'll be good, Crabs. I think you'll be fine, but we'll see. That was the only change. Everything went pretty good. Now, world building, because see, let me back up. I have another one shot made and ready to go, and I'm going, that's what, matter of fact, Krabs was just asking about. I'm going to be running a new one shot for Moss and Stone next Saturday, 6 o'clock my time, Central, or 6:30 Central Standard Time. It started off as just a fun little spoof of the Tales from Elsewhere caravan, or the river crossing one shot. I made it too complicated to get a little more involved, so we'll see how it goes. It could be interesting. That one's a little more roleplay heavy with what's going on and everything, but I'm excited for that. And then I have a third one shot I'm working on, and that's kind of what we're going to poke at today, because there is some lore and world building questions that need answered, so I can make it work. Then Twice Dead, if you're still here, that'll be the one shot that is in the Twice Dead swamp, so you'll enjoy this. We went back and forth a little, like, I don't know if it's me or him at this point. Oh wait, I had an interested player for my game this morning that said he tried to read the rules, but just could not understand a word of it. That happens. Like, I have had people read nuts, and I feel like it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and they're like, I don't understand any of this. It's just like, that's something you have to keep in mind when doing this kind of stuff, or a lot of things really. Like, no matter how simple or straightforward you make it, there will be people that it just doesn't process. It's not because they're dumb or stupid. It might be because they're dumb or stupid, but there are people where it just, they see it different and it gets stuck. Like that happens to me all the time. Like I'll read something, it's just like, that don't make sense. Or somebody will tell me something and I interpret it entirely different. Can they read English? So first question, and I kind of think we've already hammered this one out. The horses of this world. Are we going to use lizards as like beasts, or is it just going to be large bugs? I'm leaning towards bugs because we have the bug master jobs and classes. So the bugs would be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Inaccurate in their size. Beetles would be the sizes of badgers sometimes. Like, but I mean, we're already pretty abstract with sizes anyway. Like badgers and mice are relatively the same size. Whereas there's a spider rider class, so you can have badgers riding giant spiders. So, travel mantises, yeah, like, and they're super cool. And the bugs are already determined to be like the animals of this world, which is nothing but animals. But it's like, what is it? Critters to bugs is like humans to animals. So, I kind of want to use lizards like the rest of the critters in the sense that they're sentient or whatever, intelligent. Bugs are more consistent with what we have now, but lizards feel like they may. That's the thing, like, you know, bearded dragon or whatever pulling a wagon or something would be kind of neat. And then you could also big lizard. Well, there's your dragon, right? Could do that, but you also have birds. And I think we were leaning towards birds also being intelligent. Because we have that one place, the something oak or something like that, the big tree where critters learn to ride birds and birds learn to work with critter or riders and whatnot. So they work together. And I think it would be fun to have birds be intelligent, but also very dangerous. So they could kind of be your dragons in a sense. Mix the two and you'll have blizzards. Lizards could be like the desert horses. Could be. The feathered oak. Yeah, that was the one. I got it written down. Don't worry. Recommend checking out Root, the role-playing game. I think I have that. They came in a bundle to see how they handle the different species. That's a good idea, though. Saw a post recently that said we confirm birds have grammar. That won't age well. Planet where the trees are in charge. Oh my. So I'm leaning towards bugs to be the horses, or just, you know, something that can pull loads. Camels. I guess you could have. I mean, nothing says, you know, if the lizards are intelligent, they still couldn't pull a load, right? They're just huge, like big turtle pulling a wagon. The birds can be intelligent, but fundamentally alien. They can think, but we can't. Yeah, see, I'm kind of thinking the birds are more like dragons in the sense, you know, like in the stories I've been writing, the Kesha Knight series, dragons are intelligent, but most people see them as large animals, but like they have their own speech and, you know, can think and all that stuff, and are quite wise, but keep to themselves. So now I'm gonna get my big notebook of things here, because I started working on this. I've was piddling on paper instead of writing it on the computer. I gotta be honest, I'm getting tired of every program in the world getting worse and worse with each passing day. So, a pelican as a dragon would be terrifying. Yeah. I was thinking about the hawks, but, you know, that too. So here's this skadoodle here. I want to make a one shot that has the party go to. Have you heard about Vim? Need some Vim in your. I have not. The party needs a reason to go to the Twice Dead Swamp. Now, the Twice Dead Swamp is. It's a bad place, obviously, with a name like Twice Dead Swamp. I'll explain this. So we had this idea for a creature. It was a giant owl, and what we never decided on the owl, but I saw one the other day, a picture of. What was it? It's like a massive owl. Largest owl. How about that? And he's really creepy looking. I thought it was like it had king in there or something. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Old Two Horns, yeah. I might have forgot to write that down. 8 of the largest owls. Let's see. These are not right. And you were talking about like the great horned owl, probably. Let's see, my company, everything we bring is. Side ask would say, "Yeah, you gotta have." That's what I'm getting super tired of. Like, where they ask that, the more I realize all of our intelligence. Big owl would be great gray owl. Those are big boys. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of was gray. Golly, what was that thing called? Well, let me type big owls. Oh, I'm just gonna get the same list over and over and over again. He has a really weird face. Like, that would be creepy. And I'm probably gonna find out, oh, it's not actually an owl, it's just called that. How about largest birds? A pelican. Penguins. Bunch of ostrich, little emu looking things. Alright, this ain't working. Oh, and an actual ostrich. You have. It does, man. A harpy. Harpy eagle. Man, maybe was that it? I thought it was an owl. That's it. Okay, so it wasn't an owl. It's an eagle. The harpy eagle. Like, look at this thing. Here, let me put him on here. Look at that. Is that not creepy? Let me find another picture. Hey, look how big this thing is. So not an owl. Eagle. Sorry. That thing is creepy looking to me. And he kind of got some stuff going on his head, so you know, it could be old Two Horns. But anyway, so there's this Twice Dead Swamp, and there's this bird of some type that has become the hollow tongue, but he's seems kind of more intelligent than the other hollow tongues. Those eyes feel too human. There's something. And he scoops up prey and dunks them in the twice dead swamp, and that makes whatever they dunk turn into a hollow tongue. So I was thinking there's like things in the water too, like trying to pull them down, because if you drowned in the swamp, that's how you become a hollow tongue, not just dying at the swamp. Just like he's wearing smaller birds. It should be. This is a weird looking dude. So that's twice dead swamp. So obviously you would not have much reason to go there. So I needed a reason for the party to go there, and I was thinking, okay, maybe there's like some kind of plant or something there that they need to get. And let's see what I have. I read my notes here. Because as I was thinking, it's like, okay, maybe there is a plant that grows there. It's like, can we cure hollow tongueness in creatures? Like, is that the one place you can get an ingredient to kind of cure people of that? And this is what I was thinking. So let me get you get some stuff on the board. So I was thinking hollow. Boy, I can type today. Hollow tongue stuff. There's a cat fussing at me. Alright, so I was thinking, would you start to turn hollow? Not to be confused with Dark Souls. When you start turning into a hollow tongue, it's like when the little stone bits start growing on you here and there and get kind of mossy. So, turning hollow tongue. Phase 1. Stone scales on the skin. And moss. So, and then what? Phase 2. Forgetfulness. That's not how you spell it. Forgetfulness. Forgetfulness. Lost feeling. Phase 3. So something like that. If they need a tree staff, they have to go piss off the swamp and then escape. Adventurers and brave critters fall victim to old two horns the most. Plenty of good loot under the. Ooh, man, those had to be some greedy adventurers, but I like it. All right, Ken. All right. So anyway, yeah. So I was thinking, there's this plant they can cure becoming a hollow tongue. Maybe if they're oh, that is giant. In these phases, maybe. Probably not phase 3. That's too far gone. Phase 2 might even be whatever, like 50-50 shot. So there could be somebody important that they need to cure before they turn hollow, and then they have to go here and get this stuff. And like maybe the plan only lasts a little while, right? It's like you can't get a whole bunch and stockpile it. But then, say that opened up the question, why do some people turn hollow tongue? Because we, in one of these streams, had come up with the idea that, okay, the hollow tongueness and this corruption started because somebody abused whisper stones and the magic there. So I thought, okay, maybe because I like the phrase "the stone remembers," so the whisper stones remember, you know, who's good, who's bad. Basically, they're Santa Claus. They got a list and they're checking it twice. But then I was like, okay, well then only the people. There'd be no reason to save somebody who's turning hollow if it's like, well, you're a bad guy, you know. So that didn't work. But it also raised some questions too. It's like, okay, if whisper stones are dangerous and there's like 50-50 chance you're going to get this corruption, nobody would be using whisper stones. So let me read through my notes and see what I came up with. We have the corrupted priest class too. He has to go through great lengths. Like, that is an entire lifestyle dedicated to wanting to become hollow. So that makes sense. Like, he put in a lot of effort. It's not an accidental, oh, I became hollow. Like the Hellboy symbolism of death and frogs. Maybe the frogs of the swamp are only half hollow and they are ones drowning with the bird. Ooh, I'm gonna put that because I hate frogs. So if I can make frogs bad guys, I'm all for it. What's a whisper stone and can it be manufactured but followed by bad? So whisper stones they function like scrolls. You find them, use them once, they're toast. In this world, they're just literal stones with some magic inside of them. Nobody's really sure how they work, but they can do some pretty cool things. The stone remembers the sins of your bloodline. You might be innocent, but your grandpa did something bad. Ooh. Sins of the father and all that. You know, I actually got a Hellboy comic bundle not too long ago. I've read most of the first part. It's pretty good. A little weird. It's hard to read on a screen because the way the comic was made, it's like, okay, this would be very good if I had a book in front of me and was looking at it like this, but on the screen trying to scroll and everything's like, God dang it, this doesn't work very good. All right, let's see. Whisperstone sickness. Early stages of the hollowing. Yeah, so I was thinking, you know, stone remembers and all that, so people could still abuse the whisper stones and run the risk of turning hollow. Or it could just be the initial corruption and it just randomly spreads. Let's see. Conflict hollowness. Right, and I didn't like the randomness because it seemed like the stone itself didn't have control anymore, which it was not what I wanted. Yeah, so you can kind of see where I'm at. Floating around a few ideas. Oh boy, is your favorite Western comic? You love it. The only Hellboy media I've consumed was that, probably not the first movie they ever made, but it came out like 20 plus years ago, I think. I gave you a good idea for something unrelated? Well, alright. That's what we're here for. Not really, but if that happens, no complaints. Alright, so let's just slap some ideas on the board here. Going hollow. Can it happen to just anyone? Is it when you disrespect the stone? Disrespect the stone. So these are things. So if we got a plant. Let's draw a little plant. Look at there, it's a plant. Wasn't supposed to shade. Special plant we gotta go get. Only in the swamp. You have a limited time to use that ingredient. You get it back, mix it up, and somebody's in phase 1 or 2. But why would they go hollow? Is that just the world we live in now? Or is it deeper than that? Like the sins of the bloodline. But see, that would all have to funnel back up to the initial people at our, what was it, the first clearing or whatever, our little Garden of Eden place. So I don't feel like there'd be a whole lot of people getting infected, but that could be interesting. Yeah. But we want more, like, we want, okay, because we want hollow tongue snakes and lizards and stuff, which might carry into the other problem. What are lizards in this world? Okay, so let's do critters. Let the players play as intelligent animals of society. So we got that. Whisper stones might solidified magic. It might be the reason why the critters are intelligent. Ooh. Them using whisper stones, it would be like using the god's warbow. It drains magic and some go feral. Pretty good. What's the motivation of the hollow affliction itself? I think that'd be a good way to start. Is it a force that wants something, or is it more of a natural occurrence, force of nature? So, currently, there was this essentially Garden of Eden place, right? Everything was good. There was the green voice, which is the deity of this world, and it speaks, air quotes, through the moss. If you already explained this, I'm lurking because I'm no, I mean previous streams, yeah, but not today. The green voice was represented through moss, hence moss and stone. The moss was food, provisions, medicine, shelter, all this kind of stuff, you know, all the nice stuff. So the green voice didn't speak words through the moss, but that was how people, critters, saw the green voice. It's like, oh yes, there's this deity watching over us and she provides moss. And stone was this stranger, unexplainable magic. And in this Garden of Eden place, everybody was living comfy cozy, everything was good, and then one day this messed up snake or something comes through the garden, and it's like got stone scales all over it, covered in some nasty moss, and it's just totally feral and like super duper strong and just wrecks the place. And they end up killing it, but like I think we decided that was a result of people working in secret that were abusing the whisper stones, like they were trying to tap into it more than they should have. You know, somebody gives you a resource and says, hey, use 25% of this, no more. They were trying to get 50 and 75% and angered the stone, so it corrupted something, or it might have just allowed the corruption to happen, which ruined the Garden of Eden, and everybody had to scatter, and then life is where we are at today. Lizards and snake might have been intelligent once, but their use of the whisper stones made most of them monstrous, like Fafnir becoming a dragon. Ooh. Critters got smart, lizards got dumb. Let's see. Birds. Dragons? Dragon. Like. Intelligent. Keep to themselves and... And then we got lizards, reptiles. We got bugs. So this world, that one's pretty set in stone. Set in moss, as we say around here. It's mustache. Just speculation, but it seems like for corruption to be satisfying, it has to be a choice rather than an oopsie poopsie. So going hollow could be like an overexposure to something normal critters shouldn't have harnessed. Yeah. I guess technically there's fish too. I'm not too worried about those right now. Yeah, see, I did. Like, they tapped into something they shouldn't have. I mean, since we're calling it the Garden of Eden, I guess you could just look at it that way. You know, the tree of knowledge, right? And it's like, hey, here's the tree. Do not do anything with it. And then Eve did. There you go. You know, replace Adam and Eve with animals. So, actually, very close to how corruption works in my game. You can lean into your corruption for more power. Yeah, see. I'm afraid if I do something like that, then there would be significantly less corruption because people would be like, oh, I see what happens when, like, people would be scared to do anything with the Whisper Stones. I mean, obviously there'd still be those that try, but I feel like it would be significantly less. You just saw this zombified monster. It's like, oh, that's what happens when you mess with the stone. Okay, maybe I don't. So maybe that's just my common sense. Taken over, but let's see. Lizards and snakes might have been intelligent, so it's all the lizard's fault. But then if we limited the corruption to the lizards and reptiles, then critters wouldn't have to worry about it. Offers you a choice in a moment of desperation. Lots of folks would take that trade even in the real... Yeah, there is that. But that would make Whisper Stones almost more of an individual, right? There's currently, and I like the direction it's going, of the Whisper Stones being very mysterious. Like, is this a deity? Is this a single entity? Or is this like a mesh network of something? Is it just this power floating in the world? Just a side effect of being in the Bolshk. Here it seems like corruption hollow is a much more impactful effect, so it needs more. Yeah. It's wasn't meant to be a mechanic, but then we ended up making a class that could actually become a hollow tongue when they die. So it's kind of a mechanic there, but not really. Just more lore stuff. Critters might be on the same road the lizards took long. Yeah. Maybe they juicing, just slamming those whispers. Is corruption / hollow how you handle magic in the game, or is it more of the anti? So, Excuse me. There really is no magic in this game. Whisper Stones. I don't know if you've played EZD6 or not, but EZD6 had, and if you didn't know, this is a playset for EZD6. I forget you're new around here sometimes. So EZD6 was a fantasy game, and it had scrolls you could use, and they functioned in a traditional sense. Read the scroll, thing happens, scroll is gone. That's what Whisper Stones were. That is all they were supposed to be. It's like, okay, I need something to replace scrolls in this world. Whisper Stones. And then they just kind of became more. But there's still no magic. Like, there's no wizards, there's no casters, no witches, nothing like that. The Whisper Stones are something people can find. By people, I mean critters. And they have weird magical effects that can be useful and beneficial to them. But it's still very, like, they use the stone and then its power is gone. So as if they like pull it out and use it for themselves. Obviously this is all still in development and prone to change, or subject to change, I think is how you say that. Because I like the idea of, you know, stumbling across a village and like they have, I don't want to say it'll spoil the one shot coming up. But you know, there could be other villages that like have a big whisper stone right in the middle of their village that they worship because they think it's amazing and wonderful, and like maybe it blesses their crops or something. Like there's that weird unknownness to it. But then the mechanical side is, yep, you can take a whisper stone as an item, use it once, poof, it's gone. Imagine them as the clay tablets and mouse reader, but when there you go. Essentially, yeah. But you can't recharge them. Whereas a mouse reader, you could recharge your runes. You're always late. Oh no, Peter. Only 40 minutes late. It's fine. We're lore building. What are fish in this world? Oh man. So let's see. So they made the stone mad, and that's why it, well, actually, that's not even official yet. So in the beginning, when corruption happened, it could be they made the stone mad and it shot out some corruption, or they just tapped into something they couldn't handle and it released. Which I kind of like. It just, these bozos screwed it up for everybody. It's like, okay, now corruption is in the world and it just... But I'm not sold on the idea of it just randomly happening to people. That seems... That is a... It feels like a major tone shift of the world. You're just living in this world where I might get corrupted, I might not, I don't know. That seems kind of... That's not a bad concept, but I don't know if it works for Moss and Stone, is the thing. Fish are food, not fresh. Sea-doos. Fish do be tasty. I had some last night. So that's why I was thinking, it's like, okay, you do have this corruption in the world. That's kind of random. But just like, okay, if you have this risk, okay, if I dabble in this stuff, I know I run the risk of getting this corruption. But like, what about the people that choose not to dabble in it? Though I guess, you know, for as far as the adventure goes, the one shot, that would be part of the social part. Towards the end of it, you get the guy cured, and then you're like, what were you doing that got you corrupted? Like, how did this happen? Or if you find a town that seems normal and people are getting corrupted, just like, okay, somebody here is doing something they shouldn't. What's going on? That's an angle. Seems like you're trying to make something important while keeping it unimportant. Gotta make some decisions. Well, just putting everything out there. Fish are the frogs, bugs, food and working out. That's not, you know, I kind of like that. That's interesting. Or maybe Peter's right. Fish is just food for everybody. I prefer not being random. Overindulgence in Whisperstone seems good. The randomness could be more like stumbling onto a ton of Whisperstones, but you still have the choice to... Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want it to be like, oh, I touched the Whisperstone. Oh. It's like, I like the idea of it being a choice. Like something you have to actively do, but that does... I guess you could say... What you're saying, overindulgence, making a choice, but your choice could also affect innocence, and that's how innocent people get caught up in this, and why you would, because you know, if somebody's doing something they shouldn't, and they get to tapping into Whisperstones when you told them not to, and they do, and they get sick, like, you're not going to risk going to the Twice Dead Swamp to cure them. You're like, no, you did that. It's your fault. You knew what you were getting into. Whereas they do something they shouldn't, and like it infected a whole town, then you're like, okay, now we gotta go to the Twice Dead Swamp. So, I like that. So, whoop, not bad. Going hollow comes from abusing the Whisperstones. Wow, tapping into more than you should. Overindulgence, is that one word? I spelled it right first time. That kind of thing. While it is essentially inflicted upon yourself by your own doing, it can also affect. I don't know if that's the right effect. Apparently it was the wrong one. You might have to drain the stone dry to produce hollowness, or even... Ooh. There are a limited number of sins. Maybe we just list them out. Okay, so... Oh, I'm missing a few. I prefer not being... Yeah, oh, that's a great idea. Some went off in the woods messing with the stones, and it creeps into the... Yeah, very classic Secret Necromancer just outside. Yep. And that actually opens up room for some cool stories. Like, oh yeah, this guy had some ill intent, and he wasn't too worried about himself. He's like, nah, you know, I'll risk it, whatever. But it affects somebody he cares about. Now he's like going crazy because he's like, crap, I didn't want to mess up this person. And then he starts going farther into it to try and fix it, which just makes it worse, and he gets caught in a loop, and now he's hollow. So that's cool. Yeah, but what Twice Dead was saying here, you might have to drain the stone dry to produce hollowness, or even breaking one. That's a pretty cool concept. See, the problem is, currently, when you have the Whisperstone as an item in game mechanically, you use it as it's considered drained. Like, yeah. Now, the Whisperstones that you bring with you are generally small. We haven't really talked about it, but what I've been imagining is that there are large Whisperstones in this world. And that might be like when you go to the village and they just have like this giant boulder of a Whisperstone in the center of their village that is blessing them in some regard. We also talked about that one place when I had the mind map up here and everything. It was just a field a whole area of stones, and you couldn't tell what was just regular stone or whisper stones, and you could just hear them all in your head. It's like it was a place you stayed out of because you would probably go crazy. So they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and that might have something to do with their power scale. You find a whisper mountain. So, you know, the little whisper stones you bring with you, maybe call them whisper pebbles, but those are considered drain, but there might be a reason those dry up and not be a problem. That's something to consider. The bigger the stone, the worse the hollow effect once it empties. Woo-hoo. Hollow is a perfect word for it then. The stone is empty of the power it has, then it becomes hollow. That's a pretty good idea. Dang it. So after you use the stone, does it disintegrate? Or the way I had it imagined was you have the stone and there's like some weird maybe runs or just designs on it that kind of shimmer a little bit and glow, and then when you use it, they just lights out kind of thing. There's a cat down here somewhere. Okay, so I like this. I'm also gonna just food for everyone? Question mark, like bugs. Poor dumb fish. Oh gosh, y'all hear this cat? Oh, come here. Or are you just gonna sit there and howl? You're gonna sit right on my papers. Look at this. I don't know if you can actually see the papers, but she just sat right on them. What a turd. Yeah, turd. That's what you are. Anyway. Alright. So we can affect other people. So we got a plant. And I really like the idea of the frogs. Which takes us back to reptiles, lizards. What are we going to make them? Cat do what cat do. Every day. Oh, there she goes. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can hear her screaming. She's very talkative. I didn't even touch you. Yeah. Alright, lizards and reptiles. Because if we have... See, I like the idea of encountering lizards as critters in the sense that they're upright, bipedal, whatever. And, you know, intelligent and other things you can interact with. But just having them be big animals could be... Because I kept envisioning snakes kind of as the dragons of this world, just something scary. That's like you just avoid. Paper takes focus away from cats, so cats... Just spitballing, the hollowing effects that the hollowing effect that affects critters is because once a stone empties and becomes hollow, it passively sucks the life out of its surroundings to recharge, causing hollowness. Well, we're gonna just put that on the board right over here. Reptiles could be sentient, but presented as the others. Their minds, society, and behavior is all somewhat alien to the creatures. Yeah, I think we had somebody had suggested that. I am with twice dead. Stupid frogs. I hate them. Yeah. You could do them like that. And then you could still have big scary snakes. It's just, if they're sentient, I can't use them as horses to pull wagons. I wanted a big turtle caravan. My world has a race of spider people who are dedicated merchants. Maybe lizards could be legit. Ooh. That's cool. Spider merchants. Thought we were doing the intelligence with birds. Oh, maybe that's what it was. That's what it was, not the lizards. Oh, I missed that part. I should have later to the stream. Yeah. I thought it was lizards, but no, you're right. That's how we were doing birds. They're like the dragons of the world. Solitary. They are intelligent, some of them, but they don't form societies. They could be similar to bugs then. They're in the life. Yeah. Here's a question. Do squirrels eat lizards? Do squirrels... I'm pretty sure they eat anything you give them. Do squirrels eat lizards? Yes. Squirrels do eat lizards, although they are not a primary part of their diet. Do rabbits eat lizards? Stoats will eat everything, including squirrels and rabbits. Rabbits do not eat lizards. They're strictly herbivores. Oh, I figured they nibble a little something. Okay. What else? Badgers. That's what we have on our roster. Badgers absolutely eat lizards. What else we got? A mouse. I don't know. I think a mouse gets eaten by lizards. Oh, mice can eat lizards. Opportunistic feeders, meaning they will consume. Alright, okay, well, I guess lizards are fair game then. Lizards could be mid-evolution, but that's pretty unpopular society setup these days. Is it? Everybody herbivore until the Fire Nation. Dude, so stoats is what got voted on by the community to be the last species we added. It's so funny because stoats eat everything that the players can play as. Like, they're murderous little things. It's insane. Guess they're the rogues and assassins of this world. They might be in the Stone Age and the critters are somewhat medieval. Ooh. But see, if you do that, then using them as mounts and horses would be a little weird. That's basically slavery, right? Which, yeah, lean more into the red wall thing, right? And I'll add the opossum myself to the set. I'll eat everything. I also wanted the possum. Didn't get it. He'll be the DLC. Oh, that's what you're saying? Oh, okay. Yeah. I could see how that would be unpopular. Not that this is supposed to be lighthearted, but that might be a little much for it. Though it is getting into some little dark stuff here and there. Let's see. Excuse me. Maybe... I was gonna say, maybe we could do that with bugs. Because we have a class that can speak to bugs. And those might be the ones that are like, realize the bugs are slightly more intelligent than everybody gives them credit for. And then you don't use them for caravan horses and stuff. You could do that. It would be interesting. And then lizards and reptiles could just be straight up wildlife. Not all lizards, some are mute and animalistic like humans and chimps. Related but not the same. Ooh. The real strength of bugs is the sheer variety. I don't like bugs in real life, but in games and stuff like this, they're awesome. I freaking hate bugs, man, because They're too fast usually. They're too fast, and like you can't see them half the time because they're so like the ones you have to worry about are the small ones you typically don't see. Like that's what I hate. Like you get in a bush or something and it's just on you. Yeah, gummit. Whereas like a coyote or a bear, it's like, okay, I can see that. It's right there. I can punch it if I want to. What I mean is you can have a walking stick and a mantis and they do not need to share any logic. True, true, true. Bugs are nightmare fuel. Yeah, they're annoying. I hate them. One reason I hate the summer so much is just so many bugs. Ugh. Anyway, so let's do animals of the world. Can be used as horses, mounts, cargo transportation. Whoa. Battle mounts. The armored battle mount. The turtle. Bugs can communicate, then maybe they are the world's fae, weird and alien, and lizards are... Well, that's what I was kind of saying earlier. I was taking what Crab said about a potential suggestion for the lizards about being somewhat intelligent, but less so, farther behind the evolutionary or progression. They're a little farther behind on the tech tree. So I was thinking bugs, yeah. I like that. Like bugs are just kind of doing their own thing, living, but then those that can communicate realize, oh, they actually got something going on. Like they're, you know, they're not just food, but everybody's kind of eating each other anyway in this world, so I don't think it's too weird for people to eat the bugs, even if they're semi-intelligent. Because, like, the birds we have decided are intelligent, and they're very much eating everybody they can. So, let's say semi-intelligent, even though it's not accurate. Doing their own thing. Have their own way of life that people can't get with it. Except the Bugmaster class, which Mustache played as. He had a little beetle boxer boy with him. It was pretty cool. There's an old saying about orangutans that I always think about. They're smart enough not to talk. Ape together strong. However that went. Except he was the one that said apes are stupid. And then the other guy was like, apes together strong. There's also different tiers of intelligence. You can have something be somewhat intelligent, even cruel, but not be what we might consider at the same tier as a person. Yeah, like they can logic their way through something, right? But not everything. Because it's fantasy, we decide whatever we want. That's right. Orangutans know that if they slip up and talk, we'll make them pay taxes. Boxing with beetles. Yeah, that's a fun class. Yeah, Krieg, when he played, he was the spider rider. He spent all his time on the ceiling with a bow. That was fun. Okay, then some fish are just going to be stupid swimming chunks of meat, it sounds like. Don't, hang on, where's my... Moss and stone. We might have got rid of this. Otter. Can you talk with... Okay, no. I think at one point we had considered the otter being able to speak with fish. there is a fish sandwich you can get that lets you speak with aquatic creatures. So that's like speak with animals. That's how you can handle that. Fish goes blah 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 and tells you, yeah, there was totally a hollow tongue thing that went, but you could portray them to be not very intelligent. Big scary monster went by. That's what I mean, though. Maybe the bugs remember the old days and critters are a passing fad and they're... Oh. They deal more with the boys. Frog mounting a catfish is a great mental image. But see, if we have the lizards and reptiles, amphibians, whatever frogs fall under, being just the animals... I feel like that would make them more scary in the Twice Dead Swamp, because they're already animalistic and something you gotta watch out for, but now they're the mutated hollow tongue animals, which is what I really liked about a hollow tongue snake showing up. It's like this thing I already had to worry about, now I have to worry about him times 2. But I like this. I'm gonna take bugs down here. Put you right there. So I think that's what we'll do. So if you like frog mounting a catfish, I think you should give your time zone. Will probably make it very difficult, but in the acorn sharing, the keepers of the wardens of the wetlands. What is it? I will find it. Do not worry. There we go. Will this work? Wardens of the wetlands. And here is official art for it. There's a frog with a scissor. Anyway, I played it very recently. I joined him for a game. As a matter of fact, I'll just show you this. There you go. It was super fun. Pretty rules light. It uses... I don't know if it's the straight up the crafting mechanic from Garbage and Glory or very heavily inspired by it. It's like poker deck, draw cards, make things. Super fun. Super fun. Rules like you play as frogs and the picture kind of gives you the idea what's going on. So super fun. Just check that out. He's doing occasional play tests if you want to get in on that. And I think he has the current versions of the instructions posted if you want to check it out. Nobody got to mount a catfish in the game we played, but like, I'm not saying it's not possible. You could. Or maybe you can scrap together, a makeshift robot catfish. You did make it on the board. How about that? Don't you feel special? I looked up the artist for that after you posted it. All the stuff is... Oh, what's his name? I didn't know he had it listed anywhere. He got that frog in him. Oh, it's a pretty cool picture. So I think that's that. So that will... Now that we have that figured out, we can come all the way back to the actual one-shot. The actual one-shot. Person needs cure for going hollow. Party needs to go to Twice Dead Swamp to get the super special and rare and cool flower ingredient thing. Professional note-taking here. Dinghurt. 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 Is that how you say that? Dinghurt. The auto-suggestions are fantastic. Oh, Ding Hu Art. Okay. Very cool. I'm seeing frogs. Here's his link tree. Patreon, shop, tattoo tickets, apparel, Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I can see some pictures. Oh, that's the guy that did the... That's not the one that did the, this picture. That's the guy who did these goofy things. I gotcha. Or it looks like anyway. I don't think it's the same person. But the goofy frogs. Alright, so... Party goes. And then you have to deal with the... Okay, maybe we'll work on the bird next. But you got to deal with the owl or the eagle, whatever. So this is more like a dungeon crawl. It's going to be spooky. I just needed to justify it lore-wise. Because it was opening a lot of... Or not opening a lot of questions. It was asking a lot of questions that potentially opened up a lot of can of worms. So, but we figured it out. So, go to the Twisted Swamp. You just got to try and not die, which is going to be very hard. Get the ingredient, come back, and then you can have some role play with trying to figure out what happened. So that's fine. That's taken care of. Now let's figure out Old Two Horns. Courtesy of Twice Dead. All right, that picture is significantly bigger than I thought it was. So I thought this was a creepy bird. I'm not saying it has to be used. I'm just saying I thought it was creepy. You just love the style. Yeah, no, they're funny as heck. They're all over Pinterest. I like owls. I think owls are cool and kind of spooky on their own. So we could use an owl. We have this bird creature that is part of the Twice Dead Swamp. He's the one that scoops people up, dunks them in the water. He's making more hollow tongues, but he is, I think I mentioned this earlier in the stream, he is theoretically a hollow tongue, this bird. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's got some other kind of corruption. Maybe he is an advanced hollow tongue. I kind of like the idea of this creature that's a threat in this world that a party is never supposed to be able to kill. Like, you see him and you're like, going this way. Just a hazard you have to avoid. Okay, so let's go back to looking up giant owls. Actually, you know what? Scary looking owls. That is indeed a scary looking owl. Is he just a dick or do he has a goal? Well, see, the goal would seem to be he wants to make hollow tongues. Why? Don't know. Maybe he's just that corrupted. Maybe he was once a wise old owl who just tapped into something he really shouldn't have. Oh man, this guy's got like some glazed over looking eyes. Look at that. Can I crop? I can. I don't like that. The rest of them's whatever, but those, some spooky eyeballs. Is he turning and seeking a cure by experience? Ooh, that would be... If that was his secret lore, that would be cool. And I'm also totally fine with... I mean, we can figure out what the truth is on stream, but what makes it into the book... see, a lot of this stuff isn't going to go into the book because I want it to be up to the table. Like, what attacked the Garden of Eden? Was it a snake? Was it a bird? Was it other people? That's up to you. Like, what exactly is the stone's intention, that magic? What is making it do? Like, I want that flexibility instead of saying, you know, this exact thing happened, you have to do it this way. Because even if I don't say you have to do it this way, if I say it was a hollow-tongued snake that attacked their Garden of Eden, people will be afraid to change that. They'll be like, oh, it's official lore. You know, some people don't care. They'll just change it up however they want for their table. And then some people are like, I can't change it. That's what's written. You know, that kind of thing. So if I never put it in there, they have to come up with something. But I do like that. Maybe he's experimenting. Or maybe he is cursed and he's having to feed the swamp because every time he does, he gets some kind of relief or something. I don't know. I do kind of like the idea of him having a higher purpose than just, I carry things into the swamp because I'm corrupted. The Great Horned Owl. I think that's where Twice Dead got the old two horns. That's what we were thinking of, that bird. Literal lab rats. Birds don't respect critter. Man, birds are mean. Birds are awful. Let's see. Giant owls. From Hollow-Tongue's corpse, when all flesh goes away and is replaced by the unnatural in the place of a heart, you can find a... Ooh, man. Holy crap. So what? People were trying to make hollow stones? Whisper stones without consuming the dead? Breaking the cycle? And that's what started the corruption? Actually, Twice Dead, didn't you? I feel like you might have had this idea on another stream. That might have been how we came up with the Whisperstone Golem, and he's just got a Whisperstone in the middle of him in that first one shot. Let's see. Types of owls. Well, I'm gonna look at the big ones first, because big is better. Not really. So the Great Horned Owl is number 5 on top 5 biggest ones. So he's the smallest. Or no? How does this work? He's 3.2 pounds, wingspan 4.6. And the next one is 4.5 pounds, but then the next one is 2.5 pounds. I guess they're going by wingspan. Okay. The Great Gray Owl is very silly looking. Eurasian Eagle Owl. 8 pounds. That is a huge bird. 6 feet wingspan. And then the Blackston Fish Owl. I feel like I mentioned him in a video. Yeah, that was a Squirrel Death Squad. I remember making the animate Whisper Stone. You put them in a scarecrow. Yeah, there's that. What if like the Whisper Stone from Hollow Tongue was corrupted or something, but like super strong, reusable? So do we want an owl for this creature, or do we want an eagle? Do we want this harpy bird? The weird looking thing. Harpy eagle. Why am I getting ping-ponged? Oh, hey, this might be a response for the... I'd love to join, like... I reached out to this person. I say, hey, you want to play some of my Easy D6 playset? It's like kind of Redwall inspired, where you play as critters and whatnot. And her response, I would love to join in and play a cute, fuzzy adventurer. She's in for a bad time. Hey, not cute about it. We're talking about drowning people in the swamp. So in other words, Crabsoft, you are off the hook for next Saturday. We still have to find you 2 players though for your game on Tuesday. Reusable Whisper Stones could be a game. Yeah. Well, that is one thing the preacher class, I think, has. That is one of his special benefits, is he has a chance not to consume a Whisper Stone on use. Like, you roll a d6 and get a 6, you keep the stone. But just infinitely would be pretty cool. I looked up birds that live in swamps. Maybe, oh, that's a good idea. Swamp birds. What is that? Anhinga? There's all these weird words. Oh. Look at that weird neck thing going on. Or a crane. That's a massive bird, right? Well, let's put this guy on here. Let's... Oop. Ah! Didn't mean to do that. Anhinga. What a name for a bird. Alright. Yeah, let's get it's crane, right? Crane bird. Oh, that is not what I was thinking of. I thought the crane bird was like the really big thing that stood in the water. That is not at all what I'm getting here. Frogmouth bird. I don't like the sound of that. I got 0 results for frogmouth. It's impressive. Okay, it just messed up. Alright. That is accurately named. No, not flamingo. Oh, that is a weird looking bird. There you go. Angry. Put you another picture up here. Frogmouth bird. It's a big... We have them here. The bird I'm thinking of. Did that... That ain't it. I didn't think. Could use Peter's favorite bird, the secretary. Secretary bird, isn't that what it's called? Shoebill crane. Okay, we don't have those, but... That's a mean looking son of a gun. I forgot about those guys. Mean looking. Storks, or whatever their name is. Like, yeah, well, similar, but... Yeah, it's very similar to a stork. But the ones we have, they're like kind of blue, I thought. Real long beak and legs. I've only seen them a couple times, just standing in somebody's pond. They're big. They kick snakes to death. Jurassic Park. Yeah, there you go, secretary bird. I don't feel like that one would hang around like high up in swamp trees or something. I think that's kind of why I was leaning towards the owl too, because like they just sit there for so long and don't move. You don't see a lot. Let's see. Sandhill cranes? It's not the bird I'm thinking of. The internet is lying to me. Cranes. Maybe I'm tripping balls. The great owl from Secret of Nim. Let's see. It's a movie I need to watch again. Oh, he's an ugly son of a gun, isn't he? You see them in your neighbor's property, then just Google birds. Well, that's what I was trying to do, but it's not coming up. It was like, you don't have any cranes where you live. I was like, okay, then it must not be a crane. But I was 99% sure. Whooping cranes? What is a whooping crane? That ain't it. I'm just kind of like the harpy eagle and the owl thing at the beginning of the stream. I'm just getting something. Getting something. Large blue bird that stands in water. A blue heron. Yeah, oh, there you go. Peter got it. That's looking more accurate. Let's see. Blue heron. Yeah. That's more what I was thinking. Let's see. That's kind of like this guy over here as far as the shape goes. That weird neck shape. And of course, he's got short legs, though. This one's got the long ones. Super long leg. But when they spread their wings out, this is real wide. We have some pretty gnarly vultures here, too. They're big. Swoops the owl does sound more menacing, though. Yeah. Great blue heron. I just did blue heron. Oh, no, that was a great blue heron I just posted. Never mind. Do you already have shrike birds? Because they would be the stuff of nightmares for rodents. I mean, technically, I don't have anything specific bird-wise in the world. This was just the individual character / creature in this swamp. Shrike birds. Little tiny little dog. Oh, yeah, there's one with a dead mouse. Okay. Wow, he skewered it on a branch. Wow. That's brutal. Okay, so I guess, judging by these handful of pictures I got, I guess they take their prey and skewer them on branches. I told you birds were nasty, man. There's some mean sons of guns. Make it a turkey. Wow. Nature's scary. Big old swamp turkey. Gobble, 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 gobble. Why I come into birds are nasty? Well, because they are, man. They're freaking mean and gross. I could have used you earlier. I was trying to figure out what the heck this bird was that we have here. These big blue herons. The songbird of prey. Butcher birds are always inspiration for messed up stuff. I don't know if I want to look that one up. Casual Geographic? Nope. That's where I learned most of my unhinged animal facts. Glee, have you ever seen a frogmouth bird? What is that nonsense? I thought it was a crane, and I kept trying to look up crane. I honestly, and I'm still not convinced that's it, but... Because, like, we saw one when we went to Mom and Dad's once at the pond across the street. Big old thing, and I thought it was blue, and I thought its head was like real long and beak and everything. Like, I thought that was a heron, or not a heron, a crane. But when I look up crane, I didn't get it. That's a potu, a potato. Oh, the frogmouth bird. Okay. Not what I was talking about. Butcher birds and shrikes are the same animal. Oh, they are? Okay, well. Butcher bird is very accurate. Can't help but notice that Scrat hasn't added the secretary bird to his board. Because he doesn't fit, man. Like I said, this is specifically for the swamp. Something lurking that swoops down and gets somebody, like an owl. And this guy, I don't think he fits the bill. Cool looking. Gotta write my expansion with Opossum and Secretary. There you go. The TFE DLC. Yeah, you know your birds, Glee. So what is a good spooky creature to put in the swamp? The twice dead swamp that scoops up people and puts them in the water. It was originally an owl, and it might still be an owl, but we're exploring other options. I thought the harpy eagle was very scary looking and very large. So that's an option. And Twice Dead Mage had the cool name of Old Two Horns, is what they could call this bird. Old two horns in the twice dead swamp. I guess we're going with two. Are herons not a kind of crane? Well, you know, looking at them, I'm inclined to think they are. The cold dead eyes guy is my vote. Is that? Oh, is that this one right here? Or this one? Spoonbill. That's this guy, right? Could literally scoop low, but it's not menacing. I mean, he's pretty scary looking. There were some goofy pictures of him, though. I'll give you that. Some are quite silly. Top bird. There you go. He's pretty scary looking. There's just nothing there. Darkness. Whereas in this one, he's like almost anime eyes looking. We'll just make it this guy. Just rolls around in the swamp and get you. That's not a spoonbill? Ah. I thought it was. You're right, a spoonbill is very not menacing looking. At all. There's nothing scary about this bird. I mean, he is a little scary looking, but for the wrong reasons. Secretary birds use kicks to take out their prey. Yeah, man. You can show the one with normal eyes at the beginning and then the missing eyes when you're... Ooh. That's a shoe bill. Similar... Okay, you're right. I just saw Bill. You've never been attacked by a bird that doesn't scare you. Shoebill is a scary one. Clogface, yeah. Yeah, he's mean looking. What if I just Google most terrifying looking bird? The shoebill is the first result. Particularly that angry looking picture. Oh, and here it is too. Isn't there like a vampire bird or something that's black with super vibrant red? What about swans? White death from above. Able to break a human arm. Something that looks beautiful, but is actually quite horrible. Oh no. Let's see. Schwan. They make that machine gun stick out by clicking their bills. The Potu is a pretty creepy looking bird. Yeah, we hit that one up recently. Oh yeah, that's the frog mouse one. Yeah. The lammer guy. Yeah, sure, that bird. Lammer. Oh. That's pretty gnarly looking. Is that a vulture? Their feathers get dyed with all the blood they consume. Yeah! Oh, what about this guy? Oh, this is the same thing. Okay. This is the one I was thinking of. He just didn't look like it in the other picture. Yeah. That bird's straight out of anime with that hair. How big are those guys? I mean, we can make them bigger. It doesn't matter. I was just curious. Bearded vulture. Maybe that's how he eats. He eats hollow tongues. How about that? So he turns you into one. That's why you call it the twice dead swamp. Bruh. He catches you, dumps you in there, makes you a hollow tongue, which kills you, and then he eats you, and it kills you again. Boom, you become a whisper stone. It's all coming together, man. So maybe the twice dead swamp is just full of whisper stones. And then you got a chicken and the egg situation. It's like, okay, you know, it's like, does it turn you into hollow tongues because it's so full of whisper stones and all the stuff got messed up? Or was the vulture here first? Did he come later? I think I saw that. That name looks familiar when I was bird searching a minute ago. Yeah. He's got like a little pimp collar going on. Look at him. He's fancy. I think I like the red guy. He's a vulture, you know. Vultures are cool. I was telling Chad earlier, like, we got the vultures we hear aren't like cool looking, but they're pretty darned large. Like, they can, if they set in the road and spread their wings, they won't go tip to tip on the edge of the road, but they will take up an entire lane when they do that. They will go, which isn't really a good measurement because roads come in all kinds of different widths, but like, it's pretty freaking wide. Got a big old wingspan. So is it a bearded vulture or the red lemmergeyer? Or is like bearded vulture a group and the red lemmergeyer is part of that group? Need to be large for that loiter time. They don't like moving out of the road either. Like, you'll slow down as you come up, and they're just like, you can just see them. Oh, fine. Just waddle off the road. Okay, so what do we think about that? Dunks them in there. This bird that eats hollow tongues, like, that is terrifying. And then making you a hollow tongue so he can eat you. That's pretty darn terrifying, I feel like. And like I said, that would be a good name, good reason to name it Twice Dead Swamp, I think. But that, like, requires the bird to be part of the swamp. Why were we calling it Twice Dead Swamp originally? Was becoming a hollow tongue considered a second death? Let me fire open an old mind map here. Or actually, you don't need that. Let's see. That was spoilers for something else. That was the squirrel story I told you about. Which, interestingly enough, apparently hawks starve to death a lot, so that's going to become a plot point in the story. Why they make a deal for food? Let's see. Twice Dead Swamp. It's not even on here. Where's my document? My Word document. I closed it. I had it open. Locations. Twice Dead Swamp. Nothing in there. Good job, Ben. Tower, Beaver Fortress. It was the Feathered Oak. Twice Dead. That is a place. Well, is it? That's the one shot we're making. Okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, so I like that. Big scary bird kills you twice. Swamp is littered with whisper stones, which makes weird, nasty frogs. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know if we can call them old two horns anymore. What would we call this bird? Excalidraw is this tool, and the other tool that came up very briefly. This is Free Plane, I think. Yes, Free Plane. I get it confused because it used to be Free Mind. This has a lot more customization and more stuff you can do with it. This is a pretty potent tool. Very nice. Ooh, predator by day and one predator by night. Like have an owl and the vulture? Or can the vulture do both? I like this dude just creeping up here. Random doodle. I think Twice Dead left us, and he's the guy that names everything for me. Your vulture name. Color-eyed bandit, where color is whatever color the eyes are. Bandit because black around eyes. So what, black-eyed bandit? Or red-eyed bandit? The vulture and the snake. Ooh, a giant water snake in the swamp. Ooh. Man, we got water moccasins here. Those guys are mean. Like, there's normally snakes will just leave you alone, and you know they'll warn you. They're like, you know, like we got the rattlesnakes too, and they're like, they mean get away. You know, like you're getting too close. Water moccasins are like hornets, man. They will go out of their way to get you. Mean old things. Something with the prefix hemo for blood. The hemo hound. Can't tell the color of the eyes in the picture. Color seeing a deficient. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Poor mustache. He lives in a world of gray and blue. Well, we got plenty of time to think of a name. Technically, I don't even need it for the one shot. Hemo-eyed bandit. Something terrifying, monstrous. Gotta head out later, Scrat. All right, man. I'm about to close it up anyway, so you're good. I do kind of like the idea, you know, that you got this vulture bird thing. Like, technically, he can leave the swamp and go eat other, whatchamacallits, hollow tongues. And if you ever see him, like, it's so terrifying. Like, he's a dragon. Ah. But the swamp is his lair. Like, that is his domain. So when you go there, you're like, we are going into the dragon's lair. I would imagine that at night, somebody just disappears, at least for NPCs. Owls are sneaky. Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I was leaning towards owls originally. But the swamp is currently what I'm thinking, like, very dense fog, very hard to see. So but when you see this thing, it's too late. It's just, there you go. I was thinking more Venom name than XY, like Hemocrux. Yeah, this is what I'm leaning towards too. Does he down them for the taste? Well, no, we were talking about he dunks them into the swamp, which turns them into a hollow tongue, and then he eats the hollow tongue. Fun fact, birds' food preferences have more to do with texture rather than taste. Well, see there, he likes the crunchy bits of a hollow tongue with the stone scales and whatnot. He likes a little crunch in his meal. Maybe he eats whisper stones. Okay. So that got a lot more terrifying. So if you turn into a hollow tongue have a whisper stone for a heart, like Twice Dead mentioned earlier. I'm back, you beautiful people. All right. And that's what he wants. So he turns you into... So that means the swamp wouldn't be full of whisper stones because he's eating them. Something to think about. I'm not entirely sold on the idea of hearts being whisper stones and hollow tongues. It is a very cool idea, but I don't know if it'll fit. But that would be interesting. You have this bird eating whisper stones. But I do like the idea of him just eating hollow tongues. I guess either way that sticks, whether he eats the actual hollow tongue or just kills it and pulls its heart out. So they find hollow tongues with a hole in their chest and heart taken. Ooh, yeah. You just find the corpse of a hollow tongue and no heart. Yep, the whisper stone's gone. And you know, we have a class that's the hollow tongue hunter. That would be an interesting motivation for them to be hollow tongue hunters. It's like, oh, I want the whisper stone. If that was a different type of whisper stone, because otherwise you could just have whisper stone hunters, which go cave diving or whatever. But I had hollow tongue hunters just because hollow tongues were a threat. You needed somebody that could deal with that specially. Bloodrend, the crimson mandate of the twice-dead swamp. The crunchy sensation of a soul trapped in stone. Cruel tyrant in the sky over the twice-dead. Oh, cruel tyrant of the sky over the twice-dead swamp. Dang, I got some decisions to make now. Still can't find the video where you asked the question. I thought it was, if it's not the video, there's the thumbnail, it's mostly black and there's a skull like coming out of a wall with some circuitry or digital nonsense on it. If it wasn't that video, I don't know which one it is, but I remember the conversation. Anyway, more like the terror or tyrant than a bandit. Yeah, for sure, for sure. He's a dragon-esque name, you know? Something legendary. Of course, if you had the Whisper Stones as a heart when you turn into a hollow tongue, like that's your soul or whatever, that would be very fitting for Twice Dead Swamp, because he would kill your physical body by turning you into a hollow tongue, and then he rips out your heart and eats your soul. Kills you twice. Like that's pretty brutal. And if Whisper Stones, if that's their mysterious power, like it's actually souls of those that came before you. Somebody tried to tap into that unholy, well, maybe not unholy, but like a power they shouldn't have, and that corrupted souls mutated you. That's why the green voice couldn't protect you, which it tries to do with the moss when the stones start growing over you. In that way, if you are just like the corrupted priest class we have, that's just so corrupted they become hollow tongue when they die, it all kind of checks out and makes sense. More Glee knows of the Andean condor, my country's national bird. Look at you. Doesn't got to be his actual name, just what they call him locally. Well, yeah, that's the idea. What do the locals call him? Random thought, what happens if you eat a Whisper Stone? Well, we were thinking about this bird eating them, so if you found a Whisper Stone small enough you as a critter could eat, I don't know. I'll let the GM decide that one. I got some interesting things to think about. I think I'm really liking the idea of Whisper Stones being souls. Maybe. But like maybe people don't know that, because it's their soul, but it's like souls and power that they're voluntary giving, which is why it doesn't always corrupt you and can make your life very nice and beneficial. But if you abuse that soul's power, it takes revenge on you. Ooh. Ooh. Vultures and condors are fundamentally religious creatures. I didn't know that. Head low, tending the dead. This one desecrates not only the body but the soul too. Yeah, I'm super digging that idea. Most bodies probably can't handle it, but the bird is a dragon. Dragon feeds on that special sauce. That's right, the soul sauce. That extra voice in your head when you eat another soul. I mean, that's a lot to deal with. Maybe people believe it's a soul, but don't know it. So yeah, I like that. I like that, because I have been really wanting to make Whisper Stones the more mysterious, unanswered side of things. But having the locals think that's souls of those who came before us, because I think the people also have the saying, the stone never forgets. So it's like, yeah, it's souls. The stones were also supposed to be part of their history, like things are forever written in stone. So that would make sense if they think that's souls of their ancestors helping them out today. That could be the locals' lore. Whether or not that's the actual case, that's up for you and your table. You could decide, like, oh, it's some crazy demonic power, or it's the green voice has a sister and she's mean or something. I don't know. Maybe if you eat it, you have the voice of the soul in your head now, at least for a while. Oh, mustache beat you to it. Yeah. Yeah, so if this guy dunks you in the swamp and then turns you into a Whisperstone and all that and eats your soul, is he just Alduin from Skyrim? Wasn't he the devourer of souls dragon? A dragon that was the devourer of souls. Alduin was cool, man. I know a lot of people poo-poo on the Skyrim's main storyline, but I thought it was super cool. A few quests aside. Ancestral worship through the Whisperstones. That's why some people, we talked about, I don't know if you were here yet, I mentioned some villages like having a big Whisperstone they worship or something. Like, yeah. Maybe that's why some stones are big, because it's like got multiple souls in it and stuff too. Yeah, now we're cooking. We're cooking. Cooking with gas, as they say. The folk believe is that their souls, but scholars aren't convinced. It's true. Maybe the scholars are the one that messed everything up. And this would make sense, too, why the preachers are... So we have the job is the base thing, and then specializations of that job. So the job scholar has some Whisperstone benefits, but the preacher specialization, he has the chance not to consume a Whisperstone when you use it, so you can get more uses, which I think lines up with the whole faith aspect, you know, souls and all that. Stop giving deity sisters. I did it once, and I thought it was a nice little twist to make things interesting and justify a few things. Glee doesn't like godly faith. So before we go, I'll try to make this quick. Glee made this. This was back when we were playing D&D 5e. Glee made this super cool custom race. It was the Fungali. He wrote a bunch of lore in the campaign, invented a sister. Yeah. So super cool race that were mushrooms. And I can't remember what came first, the mushroom idea or the idea of coming up with an excuse to kill players constantly in a campaign without them losing their character. So the mushrooms could just regrow, just shuffle their stats up with some fun things. I can't remember, like I said, the mechanical idea was the inspiration, or the mushrooms inspired the mechanical thing, or both, whatever. Anyway, she made this super cool mushroom race called the Fungali, and they had a deity called Lamont, and she was the Stone Mother. And much of what I was saying, you type faster and you get to chat. Yep. A lot of what I've been doing, like with this, you know, I leave up to the table, right? I want the little mystery element to it. She did that with Lamont. It's like she didn't specify, did Lamont come first and she made the Fungali, or did the Fungali come first and created Lamont by worshiping the statue? It's like chicken and the egg. Which came first? Up to you to decide. So when they got through this whole campaign at the end, they found out the bad guy that was pulling the strings was Lamont's sister. And then so what I had taken, that little bit of lore she gave me with the wiggle room, I decided that Lamont was actually the deity of another race first. It was supposed to be Lamont and her sister. One was life, one was death. Well, that race did something like I forgot exactly what, but they ended up all killing themselves, right? They put themselves to extinction one way or another. Yeah. So anyway, so Lamont being the life side of the equation, you know, she was very sad that entire race came to an end. Like, it all became extinct, so she was super sad and went to where the stone statue of her was originally, and she just sat there and cried and cried and cried, and that's what made Lamont's Waters, which was a thing in the campaign, and that's what gave birth to the Fungali. And then the Fungali, who never really die because they just keep regrowing, was because she could not bear to lose them again, which upset her sister because she was the death side of the equation. And she's like, no, we're our race that we have, our species, you know, you're the life, I'm the death. This is a cycle. So Lamont brokenhearted, broke the cycle because she couldn't stand to lose them again, which upset the sister, which caused some things to happen. So they had to go beat up, not beat up, but they got in a big battle with Lamont's sister. But they found Lamont captured by the sister, because I think that's what. Is that what spurred the questing to begin with? Was Fungalese were actually dying and not coming back, or is that just something you discovered along the way? Anyway, it was super fun. That was my little twist I did on it. So they with Lamont's sister, which I forgot what her name was, and then the two sisters had to work it out in the end. The players had the choice, like basically kill death or acknowledge the fact that death is part of the cycle, which since they're all mushrooms, it's like, yeah, death is very important to us. So they ended up getting the good ending, and they kept Lamont's sister, and Lamont and them worked it out and all that stuff. So the quest was part of Fungalese in it. Yeah, that's right. You guys just wanted to colonize everywhere and you went off. So I think it was Zark had the backstory where some of his Fungali friends did not come back when they were supposed to. Right. But I think you guys ended up finding that out along the way too. Maybe? I don't know. It's a little murky. It was 18 months. I can't remember everything that happened. Lamore. That's right. Which was also... So Lamont was like two Latin words, I think, squished together that roughly meant stone mother, and Lamore meant stone something, death, I don't know. It was super fun. I love the Fungali. Don't love D&D, but the Fungali were pretty great. It's fun. See the way, I mean, they had all their own abilities and stuff, but the part I injected in there was when you die, as long as you have a piece of them to bring back and regrow, you can, and you re-roll their stats, but you just roll a d20. Like, you start at strength and work your way down, you roll a d20, and that is what you get. So you could roll a 1 for a stat. You could also roll a 20 for a stat. Stone Mother Life and Stone Death, yeah. It's the Stone Goddess Death we made along the way. Yep. So yeah, you could have some wild stats when you came back. But they got upgrades throughout the campaign to lessen that potential hurt window for when they come back. So it's like, okay, you can't roll below a 4, and then you up it some more. You can't roll below a 6. You can't roll, things like that. Yeah. And then depending on how they died, well, they would always get an extra ability when they regrew. They could only have one ability at a time. When they died and regrew again, it overrode their previous ability, but that ability was based on how they died. So like if they died in a really cold, icy place, they came back with an ice power or something like that. And that was because we originally wanted them to regrow in that location. It's like, okay, you get an ability based off where you regrow. Like, did they plant you in a really hot, fiery place? Okay, you come back with a fiery ability. But mechanically, we realized that was never going to work because nobody's going to stop where the danger is and regrow them. Like, they're always going to come back to home base. So we're just like, we just said, okay, based on how you die. I did not make this a fast track cat. Yeah, we should do a stream where this. We should. We need to put it into some other stuff. I mean, honestly, if you want to make some money, we could probably just make a D&D module thing for them on Kickstarter and get all kinds of money for it. But you know how I feel about that. Just real quick, scrat lines. I said quickish. The cruel death goddess has a cute little sister coming from Japan. All right, now that I've given you that recap, I mean, to be fair, it was quick. It was an 18-month campaign. I just recapped in like 10 minutes. So yeah, it was for 5e. So could just publish that. But hey, that's all right. I'd like to make it for some other stuff. We can make a nuts module. But anyway, I have to go to the bathroom super duper bad, and I'm hungry, so I am going to let y'all go. I will see you. Hang on. I have a video next Thursday, and then I'm streaming next Saturday. Maybe Tuesday night if I can get some more players for Mr. Krabs over there. So be on the lookout. Now I will see you all later. A goodbye. If I can find my button to end the stream. There it is.